And what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Late night. I didn't leave my. I wasn't. I didn't want to. I just keep on. Hold on, getting this second reaction of the sound because I have all these windows open. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 50. Yes, I've made it to 50. It is March 17th. No, March 18th. It just already turned. See, I'm all screwed up. Nah, I was up right now prepping for this episode. Um, that's what well, before I move on, I'm a little scattered right now because it is a little late. But I kind of like doing the late episodes because I mean, even though I have to go to work tomorrow, it doesn't matter. At least I'm here at home. But welcome everybody. Weekly update for TST Live. This is episode 50. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming through, stopping by. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Thank you. So, to start off, I was gonna just go ahead and with everything going on right now, obviously we're at war now. You know, start off that foot. Which is what I'm going to the next thing, which is the upside. The upside is, which is why I try to at least try to keep it scattered on things I do the weekly update on. I do it within my means. So considering if I am, a little bit all over the place, it's, definitely just trying to keep my mind moving away from, pretty much what's going on in the rest of the world. So obviously, I'm going to start off with Diaz and Perry and this fight card that pretty much is uh, occurring. And hold on, I got to remove this. Yeah, there we go. So, anyways, we have this fight card with Netflix, which is obviously it's Jake Paul, and I believe it's his promotion. Um, I don't know. It's another alternative. I mean, it raised a little eyebrow with even with Rogan. It came on his podcast, and he pretty much explained on how he had Dustin Poirier on his episode recently, and yeah, it definitely this happened yesterday as of Monday, March 15th, no, March 16th. It happened where they debuted that they added Diaz and Mike Perry, which definitely I'm gonna watch this. If you have a Netflix subscription, obviously you're gonna be tuning in to an MMA fight, a professional fight with two professionals. So I mean, definitely not disappointed. But I think it kind of puts a little fire under the UFC's butt and a lot of other promotions because this is what's happening. A lot of these, I mean, I can only imagine if they get as many views as they're going to get, which they are going to get a lot of views, especially Diaz versus Perry. I mean, it would have been kind of cool to have somebody else. And I guess at the end of the day, I mean, Diaz is just stacking along with Perry. And actually, I think Perry needs this because I think he's paid back in taxes. So from that to this fight card, um, this came out yesterday, which I had already knew, and I was going to report on the on pretty much this one with Rousey and this other female. Um, I didn't do my research. Obviously, everybody knows who Ronda Rousey is, ex UFC competitor. But what kind of raised everybody's eyebrows was the fact that she made some comments, which was kind of just explaining to UFC that, pretty much from what I got was just that fighters are just putting too much in the line, and in the long run, they're not just getting paid. They're not getting paid enough, which is definitely, I'm not a fighter. I don't know anything about that. But what I can say, just from outside looking in, I mean, it is kind of interesting that, I mean, she has a lot of credit to give to UFC because UFC is what gave her that name. Um, and aside from that, I guess, obviously she came out with her depression problems and some other things. But aside from that, everything from that point on was, I believe she really didn't have no trouble. It didn't seem like she had some money problems or anything like that. I'm sure she probably has some good investments. Um, I didn't think I was going to see her come back, and then out of nowhere, now she's back, and she's on this card on Netflix, which I think kind of is good for UFC because, like I said, it's going to put a little fire under UFC's butt. Which, like, I mean, even before I even heard about the Rousey and the you know the Diaz and Perry. I mean, even when I heard about this one, I mean, I was already saying that, I hate to say it, Dana White, but I mean, I think UFC is kind of, I mean, I think it's kind of just reached its peak, and then now it's just, it's just maintaining its level. Um, there still is some very interesting fights that you see through UFC, but it's just nice to see at least some other promoters throw out money to get things stirred up. Because a lot of these fighters do need money. They need to survive. I mean, now that I can vouch for because that I do know fighters personally, and it's a hard life and it's hard on their body, but it's something they enjoy to do. But obviously, if they can train and get paid very well, or if not that, still continue to get um or continue to train and also have had, pretty much come in with a nice paycheck so they can still move forward, then all good. Because then, obviously they're putting all their time into I mean, obviously I would think most fighters would put their time into being in the gym and pretty much taking advantage of getting paid for big cards. So I like I said, I just because I feel with UFC, I mean, okay, when you compare it to NFL, NFL definitely has, even NFL is very limited as well. I mean, I guess what I'm getting at, there's only so many shoes to fill or so many seats to fill in UFC, and then like I said, NFL for example, there's a lot of football players that get dropped. If not, they get their walking papers and then they got to go to other teams and, boom, they're free agents and they're bouncing around. They got families, they got wives, they got kids, and it's something that they love to do. But, I guess that's another conversation to have on another time. But like I said, I think Diaz and Perry are just perfect examples of two Americans trying to survive and, using their talents to survive. Obviously Diaz has kids, and I believe Perry has kids too. So, I mean, these are working men who are fighting for a living, and I really can't blame them. But I mean, pretty much, you know, I, eh, like I said, all I gotta say, I was gonna say some other things, but my point is they really have some, you know, yeah, they still got it. I think, like I said, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch the Diaz and Perry. It'd be interesting just to watch. I think it's kind of like an odd match in a way. And the only reason I say is because I just know Diaz is about like 5'11", 6 foot, and then Perry, I believe he's like maybe 5'10". So there's definitely a 2 inch, 3 inch. I don't know. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, there's pretty much like some type of height, difference in there. So that'd be kind of interesting. Um, I guess this is the MMA card, so Obviously, with it being an MMA card, they're going to be doing some MMA. And like I said, going back to Ronda Rousey, I'm going to watch that one too. You know, that one's gonna be kind of cool as well. You know, I mean, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of cool seeing her coming back. Um, I hope she doesn't get knocked out. You know, hope we at least see something. But I don't know this other girl. And like I said, I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was kind of interesting. Um, because before I was already saying that ever since UFC took that Paramount Plus and there's no pay per view, it's kind of like the same deal with those fighters. I thought pay per view is always the big deal. As well. Even when I was a kid, I was like, "Yo, pay per view." If you want to watch it, you're gonna have to pay for it. I kind of didn't mind paying for it because I felt you're going to pay for good fights. So then that kind of puts a little fire under their butt. I think business wise, Dana White did it. He signed those, he pretty much gave Paramount, that it's all politics as well, I mean, because who pretty much bought who bought Warner Brothers, Paramount. So I think it was just all kind of a what's happening. It's not kind of, I mean, even tied into the White House card. And then now, yeah, I'm kind of thinking, I really don't like when people criticize and they start criticizing, oh, that's stupid that they're even going to do that card at the White House. And honestly, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's actually pretty cool, um, considering if they want to do that. Um, but yeah, so like I said before, this is all just switching up the mix. It's adding a little fire to the other promoters, offer more, get more contributors, get more donations. I don't know. Um, so yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this card on Netflix. I think it'd be kind of cool. So yeah, so I guess this is happening. Yeah, I think it's on the other one. Where's it at? Oop, oh, sorry. May 16th. Yeah, so that's cool. What should be interesting. So definitely on that one. Definitely. On to the next. On to the next. So yeah, so looking forward to that. On to the next story. And like I said, I'm kind of just probably gonna just do a 30 minute and then lay it down because I'm kind of tired right now. At least like I said, I just wanted to hold up my promise. There is gonna be a night where I am gonna get on here for about 2 hours. And then I want to plan that one. So if anybody wants to chime in and then pretty much either tell me something or not that, but it's going to be like about a 2 hour um, show, but like a TST live, like live for a while. And like I said, I still plan on doing the pre-records, but I just like going ahead and just jumping on here because it kind of puts me under the gun as well, as in jumping on here and kind of piecing my things together. And I mean, I still had to get these things together on these slides that I have. So yeah, let's just switch up. I wanted to go ahead and switch up and point out, it. And I just wanted to throw out to this homie here, Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. That was a good movie. Definitely a good movie. No complaint on that movie. To be honest, I didn't even see the other movie by Wes Anderson that was in the same category. Have not seen it. I've just heard some bad things, and I feel if I do see it, I'm one of those movie. I gotta have a. If I just hear something that's just kind of like, then it's just kind of like, eh. Now Wes Anderson's Boogie Nights was pretty good. So, but yeah, didn't even compete with Ryan Coogler, which is I believe he did the Sinners original screenplay that he won as well. So yeah, I just wanted to show off because I thought this movie was awesome. I thought it was a cool movie. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, I mean, I thought he was like kind of what made it cool because yeah, it was definitely the South. He played twins. One survived. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen it, but yeah, it's just cool. It's a vampire flick. I love vampire flicks. I've always liked vampire flicks from either from Lost Boys. I've lost Lost Boys to um, Blade. What else? Man, I know there's some others not coming top of my head. But one that does stick out would be Lost Boys. Yeah, Lost Boys was pretty cool, and I just thought this one was kind of yeah, just real cool and interesting, and just kind of just that I don't know. It definitely something I enjoyed watching. But yeah, just hats off. Hats off to the director as well. I thought the director, you know, the whole movie was pretty legit, and that's why I like to go see a movie. When I go like to go see a movie, I want to see a movie. I don't want to think about anything else. I just want to focus and watch the movie and just not know what's going to happen, not know what's going to occur or anything like that. So I mean, it yeah, it definitely just was pretty cool. I mean, me just watching that movie and just I didn't even know what was going to happen next, and it just happened. So pretty cool. Um, so hats off to Michael B. Jordan for winning an Oscar. All right, on to the next. On to the next. Mhm. All right, so I was just gonna go into the news, and this is just hinting on whatever's going on right now, and it was just a real quick touch on the carrier. So this is the Ford Carrier, the new one, the new super carrier. And right there, I think they're doing a fog walk down. I mean, you see people on the flight deck. So this is an aircraft carrier, and this is one of the aircraft carriers is actually out right now supporting Operation Epic Fury. So now this ship has been going on for quite a bit. I mean, it's been on a long deployment, and it's kind of bad. I honestly have never been on a long deployment like that. I do didn't come close. Deployment like that, I was like 6 months, 7 months. Um, but apparently these people have been on are going to be extended to 11 months on this ship. So that's pretty tough, really tough. Um, that's just commitment, sacrifice. Uh, yeah, I even heard some comments of some other sailors on the Facebook just making comments that it's just terrible and the military is just it's just crappy all around, you know. And um, when I was out to sea, you know, I didn't have you know I didn't have I was just single, so I mean it just really didn't affect me as much. You know, of course I had my parents, and I just hope nothing ever did happen to them, and you know. But the news what came out recently was the fact that uh there's a fire on board, and the fire on board was in the laundry room, which is where everybody washes their clothes. Um, and I can already say some weird things do happen when there's already like a bad morale or say something's just going on. It's just, yeah, it's hard. It is hard. Because you almost get kind of like locked into your own space, and it gets kind of weird, real weird. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know. All I can say is I think it's kind of strange it being a new carrier, and there was a fire in the laundry room for the you know the ship's company. You know, like there's a laundry room you go to, and you know usually it's down like in you know a space, and then the space is obviously with a bunch of dryers and washers, and that's where everybody washes. And sometimes you get time, and you're like able to go during a certain time. You have to plan it or you schedule it, and then you're able to wash your clothes. Um, so with that happening, there was a fire, and then the fire happened, and it completely apparently took out some racks, and the racks are known as like where everybody sleeps at. So all that was like just completely uh, taken out, or I guess burned. So that sucks. So I don't know what the numbers are. I mean, obviously there's over like um how can I put it? I don't know how many sailors are on that ship. I mean, they're never I mean, it could be anything. I mean, up to like 3,000 to 5,000 people. So missing 600 racks they said are all damaged, which is pretty bad. And there's nowhere to sleep and then some of them, the laundry room now is screwed, so now they're not gonna be able to wash their clothes. So like I said, I'm not gonna actually go farther than what I'm saying is, but there was a fire in the laundry room of all places. A lot of people thought it was like some type of drone or something. No, it was just a fire in the laundry room. Um, that never happened for the Abraham Lincoln, but I don't know. This ship's been back and forth, and it was already supposed to be out again. So I don't know. I don't know what the Pentagon's going to do or what they're going to end up. Um, what the next step will be because I mean that is you can't have that many people, and then apparently two sailors got um, flown off because I guess the burns or I don't know what happened to be honest. Like I said, I know two sailors did fly off. So yeah, it's a sad situation, and I just hope everybody's okay. But yeah, so if you didn't know, and to top off tonight, I was just gonna go ahead and go into I mean it was supposed to be for yesterday, March 17th, which is when my dad was out to sea. And I did this last year for on a podcast, so I figured I'd do it this year. And it is the USS Stoddard, and this is the ship my dad served on in Vietnam. And it's pretty interesting because you can actually, wiki it, and then it gives you like pretty much where he was at and what he was doing. Um, and I'm sure wherever they recovered I could, I mean, there's documents of where it was at and the crazy things it did. This ship was, um, it was called a DDG, which is pretty much a destroyer, and yeah, this right there is going pretty smooth. It looks like calm waters, but it wasn't always in calm waters. It definitely was in some crazy seas. Um, so I can only imagine, the stories and the history of this ship. And I've only dived in a very little bit, which is just Vietnam. The ship was actually tied into World War II. But the reason I bring it up every year around March 17th is the fact that it was struck March 17th and my dad was on it. Um, like I said, I still get a little confused because that ship saw so much, and then my dad, I don't know, sometimes the stories get mixed up with me, but, he did have, like I said, on I don't know if it was from then or when, but the ship was hit pretty bad, and he had to help weld a plate on the side, but then he was hit too, so I don't know, like I said, stories get misconstrued, but definitely this ship was hit by the Viet Cong, at the time. It was hit by the North Vietnamese, which is why I bring it up every year. Um I got the right here. I'll just go ahead and read it. Um, where is that? Oh no. Okay, so it was pretty much 1967, and the pretty much on March 17th, the VCON was able to strike the Stoddard and assisted, and while the Stoddard was assisted in the rescue of a downed American near the mouth of Songyeop River. She came under intense fire from a battery shore and sustained one direct hit. She spent the last 5 days of this line appeared as a plane guard for U.S. Hancock. Um, so yeah, and yeah, so yeah, she came under intense fire from battery shore and sustained one direct hit. That's the one my dad always used to talk about, and it's so interesting that I have an actual direct story to that actually happening, and it's actually documented in Wikipedia. But yeah, um, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I like to bring it up every year and just remind, because who's to say that maybe my dad wouldn't have had survived, and he did, and to even go through that on a ship, where I mean the V Kong would do pretty much a lot of things to try to take out a ship, or I mean, but this ship was a pretty strong ship, but to take a hit, and a lot of the I believe a lot of the armor that the Vietnamese did use was from the Chinese and the Russians. So a lot of their equipment was being used to fight us, the Americans. So I mean, it just goes into like a lot of different things of history, and things people just didn't know. And like I said, I just like to bring it up every year because it's definitely what happened with my dad, and my dad happened to be there. Oh, so I really didn't want to go into this next one, but I am. And so these are the army. These are the four I believe that were who passed, and they got hit by a drone in Kuwait, which, or I think it's Saudi Arabia. Hold on. Oh, yeah. 6 U.S. Army Reserve soldiers were killed in a March 1st, 2026 drone attack and Port Shui, I can't pronounce it, in Kuwait during operations against Iran. The attack involved an Iranian drone striking a logistical tactical operations center, involved members of the 103rd Sustainment Command. This incident marks a significant drone attack on U.S. troops, which, yeah, is very sad. And these are just uh, the one with the glasses on, pretty much. I believe it's the guy with, he's the lieutenant. He has the two bars on his jacket in the front. That gentleman was an officer, and he was, um, and these were reserve soldiers, but they had definitely had served time and did some active time overseas, prior to this deployment that we were on. Um, the gentleman next to him, uh, so it was Captain Cody O'Cork, which is the guy with the glasses, and it's just like I said, these are just soldiers just doing their time. A lot of people like to throw in politics and all that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just people, normal people who are doing a job, whether they believed in whatever Trump did was right or whatever was going on in his administration. Military always has to follow through. That's the name of the game. Um, so I mean, my hats off to these brave soldiers. All four of them. Next one was Sergeant First Class Noah Tietjens. I'm sorry, Tietjens. This gentleman, Staff Sergeant First Class. This gentleman was an MMA fighter, um, or I guess he used to go. He did jiu-jitsu, but he was around the MMA community from where he was from, which I thought was cool. Just a normal guy in his off time. That's what he did. Um, Another American. Nicole Ammer, special. I think. I'm sorry. I can't. And then there's another Chief Warrant Officer Robert. So I guess Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and then there's the female Coady last name. She's the one that passed, so I don't really didn't know much about her. Um, I just know that there were just people that had been on deployments before, so I just wanted to bring it up and prayers to the family. The next one I wanted to bring up was and I might continue doing this all the way to the end. So I hope the end is soon, which I doubt it's not going to be soon. So I don't know what's gonna have to happen to make this stop, but it is what it is. I mean, like I said, these are this U.S. six crew members killed on the refueling plane that crashed in Iraq. Three U.S. Air Force, three U.S. Air National Guard members were serving on the KC 135 that came down in an accident that authorities said wasn't caused by hostile fire or friendly fire. Um, I'm not sure what happened here. I'm not sure if they collided with another KC 135 because there was another one that had a hit at the top of it. Um, Pentagon on Saturday released the identities of the six U.S. crew members killed during the crash of the refueling aircraft in western Iraq earlier this week. And then it says, which authorities said not caused by hostile fire. The KC 135 aerial refueling aircraft crashed in western Iraq on Thursday, bringing the number of U.S. troops killed in operations against Iran to at least 13. A second aircraft involved in the operation landed safely in Israel. The Pentagon said the six members killed in the crash were John A. Clanner, 33, Auburn, Alabama, referred to some in reports with the first name Alex; Ariana Savino, 31, of Covington, Washington; Ashley Pruitt, 34, of Bardstown, Kentucky. I messed up that one. Seth Koval, 38, of Mooresville, Indiana; and Curtis Anks, 30, of Williamson, Ohio; and Tyler Simmons, 28, of Columbus, Ohio. Prayers to you and your family, and prayers to the family. The first three were members of U.S. Air Force, while the latter three were stationed with the U.S. Air National Guard. The crash remains under investigation, Pentagon officials said, but U.S. Central Command previously stated the loss of the aircraft was not due to hostile fire or friendly fire. The Islamic resistance in Iraq, which is a loose alliance of Iran-backed Iraqi factions, claimed to have downed the AKC 135. They also said they had targeted other planes that escaped. Since the start of the war, the alliance has been claiming daily attacks on U.S. interests in Iraq and across the region. Um, yeah, all of them had some families. Definitely, the pilot, normal guy. I mean, he had a family. Man, Kleiner is his name. Leaves behind three small children, 7-month-old twins, and a 2-year-old son. His brother-in-law, James Harrell, said Saturday while confirming his death. Wow. It's kind of heartbreaking to say he was just a really good dad and really loved his family a lot, like a lot. An outdoorsman who enjoyed hiking. Um, and that's the guy in the bottom right. So, just an example. I can go. I don't want to go into each and every bio, but um, wow, a lot of these people had some time in. The KC 135 crash is at least the fourth U.S. military aircraft lost during the war, after 3 F-15s were shot down by friendly fire over Kuwait. KC 135s, which have been in operation for more than 60 years, generally have a crew of three, a pilot, a co pilot, and third, who operates the boom used to refuel other aircraft. Wow, man. It's so sad. I mean, on top of that, yeah, I remember Kuwait, they actually shot down two of our or three of our F-15. So it's like, what the hell? A lot of mistakes that are being made, but I mean, who am I to say? I'm not the one serving. And I don't know what happened, but just hats off to the. I mean, these are soldiers that you know doing their time. So I just thought I'd just bring it up before I end the episode. All right, everybody. So yeah, till next time. Till next time. Thank you for showing up. Check it out for next episode. I am working on my guest. That's going to be in the studio. I have been trying to contemplate on going ahead and doing the. Well, I am going to bring the guest on this TST live. It's just I got to have that a little bit more planned out. So I'm glad I just got on here. Thank you for showing up. Talk to y'all. See y'all later. Till next time.